Hi, my name is Diana and I'm from bloomsbythebox.com, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a romantic garden centerpiece. So the first thing we did was we prepped all the flowers by cutting the stems and hydrating them once we got them. And then I took some floral foam and I cut it down to the shape of this milk vase that I got from Etsy.com. So they're really expensive there. It's a great DIY resource to get your vases. And I soaked the floral foam, cut it down to shape, and we're going to go ahead and press this floral foam down into the milk vase. And now it's okay if it's sticking out a little bit because you're going to probably want to make a round shape and it's going to overflow a little bit. And then the space on the sides, the front and back where there's no foam is good because then you can actually use that to put your fillers and greens. So the first thing what we're going to use is we're going to start with a base of seeded eucalyptus, which is really popular and trendy right now. We're just going to start by going around the outsides here. Just remember, you can always cut down. If you want them facing down like that, it's always good for that rustic garden look. You could always trim some of these pieces down when you're done. So it's always good to put a little extra rather than not enough. So now you're kind of seeing that there's going to be a shape here and it's going to be round. And these will kind of get pushed down a little bit like this by the flowers. And then in between, I'm just going to cut some of these down. You can add another greenery. This will give you a little more coverage so you don't have to cover so much of the floral foam with flowers, which is also a really great way to stay on budget. Lots of greens makes you stay on budget. All right. So now you can see that there's kind of an outline there. Doesn't have to be perfect or perfectly even. Now we're going to go ahead and use some of the popular stuff that's out there. Like this one is called a garden rose and it's called Romantic Antique. And it is very bulbous, so it's very much like a peony. So if peonies aren't in season, this is a really great substitute. And you're going to cut this down. It doesn't need to be this long. And you're going to go ahead and start making a shape. So I'm going to start by making this one face that way. And I always start with threes. And you want to do that with focal flowers especially because, you know, they're going to be the biggest and you want everything to be around them. So then there's this one. Okay, I'm just going to continue to make my shape here. Kind of just trial and error. I'm going to use another one of these. And now we picked rose, you know, flowers that have a more round shape. So they're kind of more whimsical and fluffy, and that kind of lends itself to the garden theme. So it's a really great choice to use round, fluffy, light, pale colored flowers to get that look. So this right here is actually the Garden Rose O'Hara, and it's the light pink. And when this opens up more, it actually has ruffles in the center. And this is one of the most popular wedding flowers available right now. So I'm going to start filling in with these. Now, I know we're using a whole lot of pink, so to break it up, we got some different colored roses. So these are a peach rose, and it has a little bit of a pink accent in the middle. So that will kind of break up the pinks. So you want to start placing those kind of in between, like that. And you can kind of see how this is shaping up, starting to form that like garden style. And just always turn an arrangement a couple times, and that way you kind of see from different sides of the arrangement, you know, what you need to add in terms of color or texture, and it'll help you make a more balanced arrangement. So now these big fluffy flowers are really great too, because you don't need as many to make a big arrangement like this, and that will also save you money but get you the look that you're looking to make. Another thing that we did get are ranunculus, which are of course a favorite, and they really lend itself to the garden look because they're so pale and fluffy. And we also got white, and this is also going to break up this kind of pattern, so you can just put those and fit them in between all your colors. Sorry, this is stuck. And they all come in different kind of shapes, and sometimes it's really great to use these bulbs to kind of add texture throughout the arrangement, but when you're doing something short like this, you kind of have to keep them out because they're not going to fit. So see, I'm making them peek through kind of so that you can see them, but they're soft and hidden. So you put them in between. Now the white seems to be working really well because it's breaking up the colors. Okay, and there's a kind of big space there, so I'm going to use a bigger rose. Right here. Okay, and now I'm going to add a little bit of greenery to the top. So there's going to be some seeded eucalyptus kind of peeking out. And the great thing about the foam is that if you don't like how you place something, you can take it right out and just replace it. And the foam, it's not going to be damaged. You can still put it right in that same spot. Okay, so you're seeing how this is becoming a really nice garden look with a nice round shape. And now we're going to go ahead and use fillers like hypericum, and this is going to kind of add even more texture to the arrangement and fill in all those holes that you're seeing. So if you put it, there's a big spray like this, if you put it in the center and push it farther down behind those ranunculus, and then you can spread them out around other flowers. And that way you get, the most out of each piece. Also a great budget saving tip. Really just putting all the flowers that you have to the best use that you can, and making them go as far as possible is the best thing you can do for your budget, especially when you want to have flowers such as garden roses and ranunculus or peonies, which may be a little bit more expensive, but if you use them the correct way, you can get more out of them. Okay, so I just put in some hypericum here and here. We're just going to fill in now. Everyone loves ranunculus, so let's put some more in there. And I'm going to put some on the sides because I didn't get the sides too much with ranunculus. Remember, just keep turning this arrangement and seeing where you need to fill it in. You don't want to see any of that floral foam when it's done. And if there's you know, ranunculus are a little bit more delicate, so you're not going to be able to insert them all the way because they have hollow stems. So you're going to want to cut them short enough so you don't have to insert them too far and deep into the foam. Otherwise they'll just break and snap, and then it's a waste of a flower that can be kind of expensive. Okay, so I'm just filling in here. This one needs to be shorter. Okay. And I'm thinking there needs to be a little more peach, so I'm just going to add some more peach roses. And the great thing about this is it has a little greenery attached, so it fills in all the little spaces near the foam, because the edge is the hardest part to fill. I'm going to put some more O'Hara garden roses. Remember, these are going to open up even bigger, so if you're doing this arrangement and you're a DIY bride and you want to put it together the day before, that's completely fine, because it will actually make your arrangements look a lot fuller once they've been sitting for a day, because all these flowers are going to even open up even more. So don't worry about leaving it too long. So another thing, I think we're going to need some more greenery. So I'm just going to cut, this is right here, Italian ruscus, which we're going to later use in a video for making your own floral headband, since it's long and thin. It has a really great shape for that. So you can just cut and then remove some of the bottom leaves in order to place it in the arrangement. Okay, and I'm just going to continue to add to this, and eventually it's going to become really nice and full. You'll be able to see a photo of the finished arrangement on our blog at bloomsbythebox.com. You can also see the flowers that are available in the centerpiece. The flowers that are in this are white ranunculus, which are the small ones here, pink ranunculus. It has rose O'Hara, which is a pink garden rose, peach roses, and then also the garden rose antique right here, romantic antique, and that's a little bit of a different pink. So if you would like to get any of these flowers, or you're planning on making your own wedding arrangements, you can visit us at bloomsbythebox.com. Thank you.